I see that the federal government and states and school districts are coming up with revolutionary ways of resolving the educational problems. But I think that unless there's an economic reality in which there isn't enough funds, we're expecting changes too quick. I think we need to give ourselves about 5 years. And so those who are entering into middle school should start with a new philosophy of education, in which the emphasis would be on reading, writing, and counting. Because, of course, there's going to be some remedial work in elementary school, in which by the time they reach to middle school, they should know maybe but up to 12 times tables, and they have to go back to rote memory. I mean, I don't know who came up with you throw rote memory out. And so they need to know how to write. If you have 5 issues you want to put in, those are 5 paragraphs. You introduce it in the introduction, you conclude what you think about the whole position, and be able to read properly at the right level. I think homework is so important because the new focus should be on kids knowing the books. They need to know the work. An exam 5 years hence should reflect everything through. You have to write good, so it starts in elementary school. Your writing skills right up there. You have to write well, and we know that in graduate schools for engineering and disciplines that require math, Americans are a minority in the class, more foreigners, and because foreigners have more mathematical experience and they know the tables. So we need to start giving like longer school days but shorter periods. In other words, if English were 1 hour, you make it 45 minutes. So they finish all the courses real quick, and they have to stay in school and do homework. Because if you let them go home, they're not going to do anything. But the new ones that are coming in the middle school, you'll also initiate them into this homework thing, and then later on you will earlier take it back to the hour, and they go home and they have homework to do. The parents have to understand this, because what I discover is that parents think that kids need to sit down and eat, relax, watch a nice movie together, go out and see auntie, go and get some pizza, and by the time all that's done, it's time to go to bed, and then they wake up in the morning and they're just wasting time with the buses. So we need to somehow make it mandatory that, okay, if you want your kids to go pizza and all them stuff you're doing and no studying, don't expect them to go to no university or to high school or to college. It's going to be merit based. Some people are going to do dumb stuff. The kids will go nowhere. And tell them, if you don't finish high school or you don't go to college, don't expect no big quality of life. Expect that you're going to be working, planting tomatoes, reaping cabbage, and picking corn straight up, so that we don't have to necessarily be afraid of the Mexicans coming over, because the so-called menial jobs are going to be done by these Americans who can't achieve for the tertiary level. No games. To get into Harvard, you have to score on a national exam. In fact, we should, with a national exam, after 5 years, forget your GED or your high school diploma. To get into university or to Harvard, you have to pass this exam. In fact, we should even make it that they have to go on and do another year and a higher exam, requiring everything that you've studied before, detailed. You know, good writing, biology or science, you have to draw the atom, you have to draw the eye. No drawing on the paper and you don't just label it. You have to draw the eye, you have to draw the liver, you have to draw the heart, you have to draw whatever and label it. These are the folks who will go on to Harvard and so on, who do score well. You have to have like straight A's. If it's 6 subjects, you have to have straight A's to get into Harvard. And as you come down, maybe if you get a C, maybe you go to the little community college down the road or whatever. And this is so crucial because we have the best and the most resourced educational system, and with this trivial thing we're doing, a lot of them are passing simply because it doesn't worth much. One thing about the chartered schools, we're saying that the chartered schools are doing exceptionally well, and really and truly I don't think so, because you take any run-of-the-mill kid and you put them in a charter school, they're doing well. You know why they do well? Because they spend a little more time studying, so they're able to perform better on a test. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if it was rigorous, everybody was doing a rigorous thing, whether they will score. I hope I made this point clear. You could take a failing student, put him in one of these schools where it's, you know, a lot of compliments, a lot of hands-on things with them, telling them how they're looking good and everything like that. Notwithstanding the uniform and the whole environment is business-like, but it doesn't require a lot to score high. You get a foreigner coming here who's failing back home. He's doing well. People think that he's just no brains. When he comes in, he spend like 15-20 hours a week studying, and he'll be on the road. But back home, even if he spend all the time, he still can't do it because he doesn't have the type of ability that would reflect overseas, at least in the Caribbean and the British system, that you are worthy to go to Oxford, London, or Cambridge. So this big sweat about chartered school, I don't think it's much. It's like same dumb kid you get, you put him in there, you work him hard, he's going to perform well. So let us all raise the standard, and I'm sure that things will be better. So expecting results next week or next year is wrong. We have to start and expect the next 5 years. The first year in middle school is when we start this new thing. It's in the fall. Here's what we're doing in the fall, and by the time you reach up to 12th grade or 13th grade, whatever, you have to pass this exam that we are setting up here, and it requires you to, from elementary school right on to the last day in school, all that stuff you study going to be on that test. So folks, also we have to stop these school bookstores from buying the books from the kids. Now, I had all my books from college, my public speaking, my parliamentary procedure, my history, all that, and I lose it over time. I never was excited in selling my books because I need to go back and refresh my mind. And finally, by the time a kid reaches in middle school, they must tell you what career they're interested in. I mean, it's unconscionable for these guys up to be in 12th grade and say, I don't know what I want to do. Hey, you need to go and plant corn, bro. If at the first year in middle school you don't know what you want to do yet, when you finish middle school and you go to high school, you don't know what you want yet, you will end up planting corn. We have enough TV where people could see the different careers and the different responsibilities and the different things they need to do. It's not only soldier and police and fireman. There are other things. There's the scientist. There's the researcher. Expose these kids to the various professions and what it requires. You have to go to university to get this. You have to have this degree. You want to be an attorney, you don't know what you need. You need a degree, and probably get one that's going to help you to be well-rounded. Public speaking is a lot of it, and social sciences where you have to deal with people and you have to understand people and be able to assess them, etc., etc. So if we do that, I think that we're on the way. So this closing up schools also is going to cut back on the economy. More schools are closed, teachers laid off, staff laid off, these facilities rotting out there, except you can use the facilities to put these pregnant women who are kind of on drugs, put them in there so that they are monitored, they're done drug testing often, teach them some skills so that these kids will not be born with these problems. Oh, this is crucial. We somehow have to stop these parents from using drugs and make them responsible, because when they deliver these drug dependent babies, yes, they're going to go to school and everything, but they call for so much support and they have so many problems that it's a big problem. So we have to cut out this drug thing. You're pregnant, you use drugs, it's serious. I don't know how you could do it. You can't beat them, you can't give them lashes, you can't execute a couple of them, you can't do none of that stuff. So I don't know how you can get folks to really follow the rules even in school. If you can't use corporal punishment, they don't respect you, they have no fear. Well, I guess maybe the exam, which if you don't pass this you can go on, maybe that should be fearful enough and motivational enough, but we have to move into a new expectation for these kids.